Well, good evening, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola for another one of our Coffee Club Talk live here in Osceola County. Got a friend of mine, and that will be Ricky Booth, as you can simply see by his name right there. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you tonight, Keith?
I'm doing great. It's always a good time to talk. Always a good chance to hang out with you, man. I know you got nothing else going on today, so I appreciate you taking up some of that spare time hanging out with us.
Gotcha.
How's your day going? Pretty good?
My day is going real well, you know. We are been on a horse all day, getting our calves ready to ship and head out west. You know, in our business, we get paid about 2 or 3 times a year, and so we're getting ready to get paid for the main final time, I guess you could say.
Before the end of the year, yeah. That's it. Huh?
Yep. So we'll ship our calves next week, but we're getting them ready to go and getting them prepared to go this week.
And they go to Texas, is that correct?
Most of the time, actually, these cattle, I believe, will be going to Oklahoma, but they go out there somewhere. They'll usually be put on in a winter grazing situation somewhere out there, and before they'll be moved into a feed yard next spring.
Very cool. All right, let's go ahead and let's make this official as we start another Coffee Club Talk Live. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Like I said, I know you're extraordinarily busy specifically right now, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. What was kind of the catalyst of inviting you to come tonight? And thanks for accepting the invite. I was at the school board meeting last week when I guess that was your final school board meeting as a school board member from District 5, and that must have been a tad bit surreal. How was that for you?
You know, Keith, it was, I guess you could call it bittersweet. I have so enjoyed serving everyone in District 5 as their representative on the school board. As you know, we've talked about many times, both my parents were educators and my wife's an educator. And I have 3 kids in the schools, in our public school system here in Osceola County. And I was, you know, just honored to be able to serve, you know, be elected twice to that position. And you know, but what was the most difficult was leaving, you know, people that I consider my friends, very good friends, and Mr. Thacker, Mr. Weissire, Mr. Soto, Ms. Castillo, and Superintendent Dr. Pace, and even our attorney, Frank Kruppenbacher, and just all the staff members that I've built relationships with over the past 6 years. It's been an amazing time there, and we've been able to do a lot of great things.
Yeah, you certainly have. As I was watching that meeting, I was thinking how that would be if that was me. I kind of wedge my way into scenarios, and I stay there for a while, perhaps sometimes too long. But yeah, a lot of good people. You guys have done a lot of good for the community and for the school district specifically. So if you had to look back at over the years that you were a school board member, District 5. Just give us a couple things that maybe stick out in your memory of accomplishments, and maybe then even a challenge that you guys overcame together.
Yeah, well, I'd say number one by far is the change in culture at the top. You know, everybody looks at the school board as a leadership of the school district, and you know, we don't, as you know, that the system isn't set up to where we run the day-to-day operations, but we do put that person in place in Osceola County who runs the day-to-day operations. And just to have that culture in place that says, you know what, the 5 of us on this board are here for the kids and for what's best for Osceola County. We're not here to try to get another board member voted off. We're not here to try to get, you know, because we have some, you know, past, you know, vendetta against somebody. We are here only for the kids. And so it has been, you know, I think that's number one, Keith, is that we've been able to change that culture, and folks have recognized that. If you've lived in this community longer than 10 years, you know what the school board was.
Yeah.
You know, and they were on Channel 9 for a lot of the wrong reasons, right? And I'm glad that we put us out there for the right reasons. And I think, we can talk about some other things, but that's by far, that's probably number one is having professional, engaged, intelligent school board members with strong ties to the community, whether generational or whether new, because we have board members who haven't been in the community forever, but they still have strong ties to the community. Their kids either went to school here or are going to school here right now. And we have people dedicated to doing what's best for the Osceola County School District. And I can tell you, I'm very proud to have been a part of that.
One of the things that sticks in my mind, and this is not about me, it's about what you're feeling and looking back at. But one of the things that really sticks out to me is how the community joined the district when you had the conversation of the halfpenny sales tax in order to look back at the existing facilities and work on those facilities. A lot of talk, a lot of years, and I've been here 30-something years, lots of talk in past boards and past years about facility upgrades, making sure you're staying out, repairing those things, addressing those needs in the existing schools. And I think sitting back and not being a part of it, but watching it seemed to be one of the things that was, in my mind, was a standout time, that how it was conveyed from you guys at the district, Dr. Pace, how that was brought to the community, I thought was a big deal. And looking at the facilities, I'm all over the county, our team's all over the county, and I see how much an improvement how all the improvements have been happening at the schools. That's what you said you were going to do, and that's what we see. Is that something that sticks out as being a win?
Sure. Well, anytime that the community puts that much trust in a board, to be fiscally responsible and to handle, big budgets and big sums of money, that certainly speaks volumes about the leadership that we had. But I can tell you, when I was out on the streets in 2013 campaigning to be school board member for the first time, the number one issue, if you lived, on the state streets in St. Cloud, the number one issue was Michigan Avenue Elementary. What are we going to do with Michigan Avenue Elementary? And so the community stepped up. They said, we want it rebuilt, we want it redone, and we got it done. And so I can't, without strong leadership and without involving the community, as you said, that doesn't happen. And so now Michigan Avenue is a big, new, beautiful school, and we're extremely proud of what we've done there and been able to renovate and add student stations, not just there, but at St. Cloud Middle School.
Sure.
Now Harmony Middle School is online now. So in District 5, a lot of the work that's been done on new construction, whether it be space reconfigurations and additional buildings or complete rebuilds, has been done. Most of that work has been done in District 5. But without citizens' input and without citizen engagement, we wouldn't be here, and without a citizen's trust in what we were doing. So sure, anytime the public trusts you that much, certainly, I'm proud of that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you should be. I think I'll go back to the first point you made, is the synergy between all the board members and all the way through up to Dr. Pace or over to Dr. Pace and then into the staff. I think you see what we've been able to see from the outside looking in is a lot of cooperation, a lot of working together. And I think you see that's why those results seem to be what we're looking at. So then let's fast forward to 2020, where the big challenge that nobody saw coming, right? So how do you feel that has worked through? Certainly it's been a bumpy road. We're not through it yet, but how do you look at that in your somewhat of a rearview mirror?
Yep. So the most challenging part of being a school board member for the past 6 years has been the past 6 months. And right. So, with the COVID pandemic, being able to work through that, taking what the Florida Department of Education, taking what Governor DeSantis pretty much made us do by withholding funding if we don't have a face-to-face option. But so being able with our team to come up with a plan which we called Ready, Set, Start Smart, and actually present that plan ahead of a lot of other districts, to where a lot of other districts says, hey, this looks good, and they used it. FDOE used it to help other districts as well. And so I'm very proud that we were able to overcome that. So it was extremely difficult to finish last year digitally. It was extremely difficult to develop a plan to start school with this hybrid model, right? Some kids face to face, some kids doing distance learning, and then adding, doubling and tripling in size our virtual school capacity, which is different than distance learning, right? So being able to do all of that in about a 3 to 4 month period, I think speaks volumes of the leadership that we have at the school district, and Dr. Pace's talent and the talent of the people that she has installed on her leadership team.
Yeah, it amped up extraordinarily quick. And I know I saw the same thing, which is, other counties, other districts, certainly we're looking at Osceola. It just got done efficiently, it got done effectively, and it got done rapidly, actually. But it got the kids still learning. And maybe we could say it was an imperfect solution to a terribly imperfect time, but the kids kept learning. I mean, I know my son specifically, he finished out that way, and he's still doing that now going to Valencia. They're still all obviously digital. And lo and behold, wants to be an educator in Osceola County. So there you go.
There you go. Well, we need him. So tell him to hurry up and get done.
I know, right? He's a good one. We're working pretty hard. So let's push all the way forward now. So you finished your last school board meeting, and so why don't you tell us what you're doing? I mean, I've got you. You're in the car right now, so you're doing something, right? So why don't you tell us what your plans are for those who may not know, and if you could include in that why you wanted to do that.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as you've alluded to, I'm out here in my truck, and that is because I don't like to miss time out here when I do get a chance, as much as I can, to be out here at the St. Cloud Civic Center for early voting. So if you haven't voted yet, come on out to if you live in the St. Cloud area, the Civic Center is open from 8 to 8 daily until Sunday, November 1st. Narcoossee Community Center is open 8 to 8 daily, and there's 4 or 5 other locations across the county, but those are the 2 that kind of service most of the residents in District 5. And as you know, Keith, I am running right now for, I wouldn't be out here waving signs if I wasn't, running for County Commissioner in District 5, and to serve the same residents that I have served for the past 6 years on the school board. And, as I move forward, I can say this. What I like to see is can go back to part of what we've done on the school board. I don't think there's a culture problem like we saw at the school board 10 or 15 years ago at the county commission. I'm not saying that, but certainly I've proven that I can be part of a leadership team that spans the ideological spectrum with a lot of different ideas and a lot of different mindsets and a lot of you coming from a ton of different backgrounds to come together and do what's best for Osceola County. And I can tell you, if you live in District 5, and most of the folks that I know in District 5 will say, we've got to get a handle on this growth. What are we going to do about it? I moved to District 5 from maybe Kissimmee or Orlando because of, the lifestyle. You probably did the same thing, Keith. And because I know you're a District 5 resident. I don't know if everybody else knows that, but now they do.
Yes, they do. Glad to be.
So, a lot of folks moved out to areas like yours because they wanted that rural lifestyle or just that kind of laid back lifestyle, nice residential communities, built with community in mind. So as we move forward, we want to make sure that we're doing that. If we're going to grow, let's grow in a smart way. Let's make sure that, look, we have the largest unemployment numbers in the state of Florida. Some of the largest probably in the nation in Osceola County. Now, a lot of that has to do with what goes on over on the other side of town, but it's extremely important for a lot of people that live in our district. So what we need to, I think, focus on is providing options. And I think you were there at the school board meeting, right? How about Neo City Academy? How great is that institution? That school is, when it's all said and done, is going to be one of the highest rated schools in the state. you have to have a high level academics to get in there. It's kind of like getting into Harvard. You got to get in, you got to apply and have the academics to get into that school. But those are the kids that are training for those and trying to learn and get into those industries, engineering and high tech and high tech manufacturing, that we're trying to bring right here to Osceola County. And if we're going to have these high wage and high paying jobs, it's going to take all of the community and the school districts to try to attract those folks here. Look, there are municipalities and counties and states all across our nation competing for these top tier jobs, these high wage jobs, right? We know that. We can't just stick our head in the sand and say we hope they come because Osceola is great. We know Osceola is great, but we've also got to go out there and recruit them. It's kind of like recruiting in football, right? Like, everybody knows the Gators are great, and I'm a Gator grad, so I'll use them as an example. But you know what? There's a lot of other great universities out there you can go play football at, right? You could go play at Alabama or Auburn or Georgia or Florida State. I can't even believe I said that. Florida State.
You didn't say UCF either, by chance.
I didn't say, well, UCF, right? And you can go to these places, but they're all out there searching for talent, right, and searching for the best, and that's what we need to be. And I want to be a part of bringing in those best industries into our community and diversifying our employment. And I think that's number one. Limit what we're doing residentially. Focus more on what we're going to do for our employment centers in our community, and make sure that that our infrastructure keeps up. I've been on the school board long enough to know that the way the funding comes down from the state and what we do in Osceola County, it hurts us. And so it makes us the lowest funded school district in the state, with nothing having to do with what the school board does, but it all has to do with how much residential we have versus how much commercial and the property taxes. I won't bore you with all the details of that, but when it all shakes out, there's 67 districts in this state, and we're number 67 out of 67, and we need to change that. And the only way to change that is to change the mindset of the type of residential communities we're bringing in and the type of industries that we're bringing in. So let's diversify our employment centers, and let's make sure that a residential, if it's going to come, it's going to pay for itself.
Coming off of what you said, kind of, so Osceola County's District 5, which you would be representing as the commissioner if elected, so if I'm correct, this district has the most undeveloped land in the county. So of course, hence right, things are going to obviously come this way from throughout Central Florida. So do you feel I'm the kind of voter that looks for somebody experienced. There isn't enough time for somebody learning on the job. I think you have to be able to hit the ground running. That's a big deal to me as a person. I actually went through that with my son, who voted for the first time the other day. That's just a big thing to me personally. Yeah, it's a great thing. It was great to see a whole slew of people in the room that were a little older that were applauding him for voting. It was very cool. Yeah. But experience is a big thing to me, because I think you don't have as much time as people think you have to get going on this thing. And so there's so much happening. So do you feel like that experience as a school board member in this district is going to help you be able to jump right into that role if you're elected?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you that all the relationships that we've been able to build over the past 6 years that I have been able to help build through the school district, I have to do with working with the county commission, working with our two municipalities, the city of St. Cloud and the city of Kissimmee. And so, yeah, you understanding big budgets, understanding your role on a board, understanding, what your goals are and how to lay that out in a vision and a strategic plan. Simply go back and look at what we did to our strategic plan in the district and the successes that came out of that, right? So we sat down and said, these are going to be the things we look at. Academic achievement should always be number one. Talent management, fiscal responsibility, community engagement and governance, which we know was extremely important. And then school safety. Kids go to school today and teachers are safer than they've ever been before, because we have an SRO in every school. And that's something that wouldn't happen without all the work that we did to build relationships with the county commission and the city of St. Cloud and the city of Kissimmee. So understanding how to budget, big budgets, understanding how to lay out a vision, how to lay out a plan, and understanding how to be a part of a team, and you know, being here for 6 generations, understanding the county, where we've been and where we're going, I think is extremely important to the next District 5 county commissioner.
Well said. I know you got some stuff to do tonight. So like I said, I know we had
some folks. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I know we had you scheduled for a while, so I appreciate that you even though you've got things you've got to do, I appreciate that you would hold up to this interview today. And so wish you the best of luck to you and your family. So, you know, I know you're going to head out to the sign thing, but I really do appreciate what you did and the whole board. We really appreciate everybody who's worked together to make, you know, a positive impact on Osceola County and the school district of Osceola County. So thanks a lot, Ricky.
Keith, if I could say one more thing, you know,
Please.
I just talked about community engagement as part of our strategic plan, and I think you were part of that. And so I can't thank you enough for getting, you know, people being able to watch these football games live, you know, on Positively Osceola. You coming to the school board meeting and reporting about how Neo City Academy, you know, is a green, you know, winning awards for being a green building. You coming and helping engage on the superintendent process. I think you were there on that. You coming and celebrating some of our best employees, not just teachers, but support staff as well, and being a part of that. I think that's huge for a community to be able to be involved. And so I want to thank you for you were part of that strategic plan, bullet point number 4, community engagement. And so we want to thank you for that.
You got it. Been an honor for sure. All right, I'll let you go. I know you got people to wave at and signs to carry around. So again, best of luck to you. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with Ricky Booth, former school member, School District of Osceola County, vying for position as County Commissioner with Osceola County, District 5. If you're out voting, wave to Ricky. Maybe go give the guy a vote if you feel so moved.
Come on down to the Civic Center before 8 o'clock. I'll be here until then.
There you go. 8 locations around the county through Sunday. All right. Again, thanks, Rick. It's Keith with Positively Osceola, along with Ricky Booth, together making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Take care.